Stop for a moment. Don't go any further. Don't scroll. Take this space as if it were a breath you can finally take without haste. If you've come this far, it's no coincidence. Something inside you recognized these words before your mind could even comprehend them. It's not curiosity, it's not distraction, it's not simple interest, it's a deeper, quieter sensation, as if a part of you were slowly emerging to the surface after having remained hidden for a long time. Maybe you can't put a name to it yet. Maybe you just feel it as a slight uneasiness, a subtle sensation that's been with you for a while. It's not sadness, it's not fear, it's not even confusion. It's something that pushes you to stop, to listen, to look deeper. It's as if something inside you has begun to stir, demanding attention, demanding space. Many people go through life without ever stopping to truly feel. They live according to habits, roles, expectations. They do what should be done, say what should be said, pursue goals they haven't truly chosen. But at a certain point, for some, something different happens. A thin crack opens. A moment when everything that seems solid begins to lose its edge. Not because it's wrong, but because it's no longer enough. Maybe you're going through this too. Maybe you've noticed that certain things no longer represent you, that certain relationships feel empty, that certain goals don't motivate you as they used to, and maybe you've asked yourself why. It's not a mistake, it's a sign. When you begin to feel this call, it's not because you're losing something, but because you're making room for something more authentic. It's the moment you stop, even if only for a moment, living on automatic. It's the moment you begin to observe instead of reacting. It can be unsettling at first, because when you stop completely identifying with your thoughts, you realize you are not those thoughts. When you stop defining yourself through what you do, you begin to perceive a new, silent, stable space. A space that is not dependent on external circumstances. And it is in that space that real change begins. Not a noisy change, not a sudden revolution, but a slow readjustment, an internal reorganization, a return to something more essential. You begin to notice that emotions no longer overwhelm you as they used to. You observe them, move through them, let them go. Not because you become cold or distant, but because you've stopped identifying them as you. Emotions arrive, speak, then leave, and you remain. Over time, this presence becomes more and more natural. You begin to feel your body differently. Your breath becomes a point of reference. Silence ceases to be empty and becomes space, a fertile, living. It's in this space that many answers emerge spontaneously. Not as concepts to be understood, but as clear, immediate sensations. You understand that not everything needs to be controlled, that not everything needs to be solved, that some things transform simply when you stop resisting. And so, without realizing it, you begin to live differently. Your reactions change, your priorities realign. Situations that previously agitated you now flow more easily. Not because you become indifferent, but because you become present. There's a silent strength in this presence, a strength that needs no proof, a strength born of being, not doing. And as this awareness grows, you begin to recognize something fundamental. You are not separate from life. You are not an external observer. You are part of the very movement of existence. Everything that happens also happens inside you. And everything that moves within you is echoed in the world around you. When you understand this, the sense of separation eases. You no longer feel alone on your journey. Not because someone is physically accompanying you, but because you begin to feel a deeper connection with what is. It's in this state that many people describe a feeling of return. Not a return to something new, but to something old, familiar, like returning home after a long journey. There's no euphoria, no exhilaration. There's a deep, stable calm, a presence that doesn't need to be demonstrated. And when this presence stabilizes, life begins to flow differently. Decisions become clearer, relationships more authentic, choices more aligned. Not because everything becomes easy, but because you become more real. And this is where the real transformation happens. Not the one you see on the outside, but the one you feel on the inside. A silent, continuous transformation that does not need to be announced. It's the moment when you stop looking for answers outside and start listening to what's already there inside you. And precisely in this space of deep listening, something begins to reorganize itself effortlessly. It's not a change you can force, nor something you can achieve through willpower. It's as if a part of you, long silent, has finally found the courage to make itself heard. It doesn't speak with words, but through subtle sensations, sudden intuitions, small moments of clarity that come when you least expect it. Perhaps you're starting to perceive time differently. Days no longer flow the same. There are moments that seem to expand, become denser, more alive. It's as if your attention is sharpening, allowing you to capture details that previously went unnoticed. A breath, a glance, a sudden silence take on a new meaning. In this state, you no longer seek immediate answers. You learn to stay with the questions, and you discover that you don't need to have everything clear to move forward. Sometimes, true change happens when you stop forcing understanding and allow it to emerge on its own. This is where many people begin to feel a kind of inner expansion. Not something mystical or distant from reality, but a greater presence in the moment. A new ability to be with what is without running away, without judging. It's as if the mind stops struggling and begins to truly listen. In this state, even difficulties take on a different meaning. They are no longer experienced as obstacles to be overcome, but as passages that convey information. Every emotion becomes a message, every discomfort a signal. And the more you learn to listen, the more you realize that life isn't trying to test you, but to communicate with you. Many describe this moment as an awakening, but it's not something sudden or spectacular. Rather, it's a slow return to yourself, a delicate process made up of small internal changes that, when combined, transform the way you live each day. You begin to perceive a new coherence between what you feel, what you think, and what you do. Choices become clearer, relationships more authentic, decisions less fraught with fear. Not because everything is simple, but because you stop fighting against what you feel. And as this transformation continues, you realize there's nothing to force. Everything happens when you're ready to welcome it. Change doesn't require effort, it requires presence. It's in this space that many people discover a form of peace that doesn't depend on external circumstances. A calm that comes not from the absence of problems, but from the ability to be with what is without being overwhelmed by it. And when this calm takes root, something profound settles within you. It's not enthusiasm, it's not euphoria. It's a living, conscious, present stillness. From here, every experience takes on a different meaning. Every encounter, every choice, every moment becomes part of a larger journey. There's no longer any rush to get somewhere because you're already where you need to be. And perhaps this is the most important point, realizing that you don't have to become someone else. You don't have to transform yourself into something different. You just have to allow who you are to emerge unhindered. This is the true awakening. Not a spectacular event, but a silent homecoming. And when that happens, something changes forever. You're not going back. Not because you can't, but because you don't feel the need for it anymore. This is where true awareness begins. And if you've come this far, if you've listened this far, then something inside you already knows. There is no need to do anything else. There's no need to look elsewhere. Just stay. Stay present. Stay open. Stay tuned. Because what you are looking for is not far away. It's already here.